Welcome back on the mat. From our seated, make your way firstly onto all fours. And in the all fours position, just turn your fingers out to the sides, but not entirely back, also not entirely to the sides. So sort of pointing diagonally to the back wall, and then shift a little bit of weight around. So just positioning the hands in a way that we usually don't have the hands on the mat. You can move from side to side. You can even make little circles from one side to the other, just taking a bit of time to feel into your wrists and forearms. Then maybe include movement in the spine. So while you are making little circles or shifting weight around, you can round your back and you can arch in the back, sort of loosening up in the body. And coming back to a neutral position and turning your hands so that you've got downward facing dog hands on the mat. Now get the tops of the feet to rest on the floor, to push into the floor and float your knees off the mat. Shifting weight forward so shoulders past the fingers, and then pushing weight back, bum closer to the heels, and then shifting weight forwards and take it back. Shifting weight around. Just feel what it's like to shift weight from one side to the other, and where you feel more activation or contraction in the muscles, you can then bring it back to neutral position, placing your knees down. Tuck your toes. Now in this box pose, if we go straight to down dog, the down dog would usually be a little bit shorter, so keep the down dog short. Working your heels down towards the mat, feeling into the lower legs. Should you wish to walk it out, do so. Now in the short stance, lower your hips back into a plank shape. Shoulders will push past your fingers. Exhale, push it back. Inhale, lower hips, shoulders pushing past. Exhale into a downward facing dog. Now step your feet back into a normal down dog stance. Bend into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. Now on an in-breath, bend your knees. Let your arms hang down and get your chest closer to your knees. So we just aim to keep length in the back by arching in the back and thinking of lifting the sternum forwards and slightly up. Feet can be together. You can even get the inner knees to touch in this position. So fingertips really close to the floor. Instead of letting the arms hang down, inhale, take the arms alongside the body, reach to the back wall with the fingertips and actively pull the shoulder blades a little bit closer together at the back. Still arching in the back and lengthening in the spine, pulling the sternum forwards. Next inhale, arms up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Planting hands on exhale, step or jump back. Low down, chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take right leg up. Exhale, bring knee to chest and place foot between hands. Back knee can come down, top of the back foot onto the mat. Inhale, take arms up. palms to touch, option of staying here, or option of straightening the back leg with the top of the foot pushing into the mat. Exhale, bring the knee down, bring your hands down, tuck toes, straighten back legs, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog position. Still linking breath and movement. Inhale to take left leg up. Exhale, placing left foot between hands. Back knee down, top of the foot down. Inhale, arms up. Now you can straighten the back leg or lift the knee off the mat, top of the back foot pushing into the floor. Exhale, bring your knee down, hands down, tuck toes, lock back leg, stepping back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Two options. You can hold a chaturanga, maybe even with knees on the mat, or you'll do a few jumping chaturangas. So lower hips into plank, exhale to chaturanga. If you want to go for the jumping option, all four limbs off the mat at the same time. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend into knees, look up. Inhale, feet in between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend knees, take arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, mountain pose. Interlace fingers behind back. Roll your shoulders back and down. Then use your inhale to sink into your chair pose variation. Chest can stay up. Fists pointing back and down. Full inhale. Exhale, chest closer to upper legs. Arms still together. Fists, hands together at the back. Exhale, forward bend, working your arms over your head. Inhale, release hands to mat, halfway lift. Planting hands, exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. But exhale back into Chaturanga. And then resting onto the floor. Bend your knees. Find your ankles. Use your next in-breath to kick back, lifting your thighs off the mat, lifting your chest off the mat. Exhale, slowly lower down. Release the ankles, tuck toes, pushing up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot between hands. Back knee down. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale. Bring the right fingers down. Reach to the ceiling with the left hand. Start to open up in the chest as you reach over to the right. Inhale. Taking the right arm back up, square off from the hips. Exhale, bring your hands down, tuck toes. Straighten the back legs, step back. Chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, take left leg up. Exhale, position foot in between hands. Bring your back knee down. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, left arm down. Reach up to ceiling with the right hand. Then gently start to open up in the chest as you reach over to the left. Inhale, taking your arm back up. Exhale, bring hands down, tuck toes, lock back leg, step it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. In breath, lower your hips into plank. Shift weight to left hand. Pivot your feet, take the right arm up. Now as you get into a side plank, pull your right knee to your chest. Find your big toe with the right peace fingers. Look down to the floor. Start to twist. Place the right foot to the front of the mat with control. As you place the front foot down, bring the right arm around the inside of the front leg. Get the hand behind your back. Option of keeping left hand on the floor, or find your left wrist into this very low position. Imagine that you want to stand up, so you're pulling into the leg, but you keep shoulders square. Release your left hand onto the mat. Pistol grip the big toe. Before we lift the foot back up, angle your back foot, then float your right foot off the floor, taking your leg up to ceiling. Exhale, let go. Come back into plank. Exhale, hips into down dog. This is a nice second for you to relax, to reconnect with the breath, and use your inhale, lower hips into plank. Shift weight over to the right hand, angle feet. Left arm up. Pull the left knee to chest. Pistol grip the big toe. Very slowly, twist. Step your left foot onto the mat. You're on the ball of the back foot. Left arm around the inside. Shoulder drops down. See if you can bind. Shoulders square. Back leg straight. You can even turn your gaze forward. Exhale, release right hand down. Pistol grip the left big toe. Angle the back foot. Slowly lift your foot, taking the leg up to ceiling. Let go. Bring your leg down. Hand down. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. You'll jump your knees between hands. So bend into knees, look up. Cross your legs and then end up on your shins and knees with the legs crossed. As you come down, the bottom leg will pull into the body, and that way we'll try to lift everything off the mat. If that's not possible, feet will simply stay on the floor. Otherwise, fingers more or less in line with the knees, push away from the floor, pull up, slowly come down. Now we switch legs, but we first take it back to a down dog. So push away, jump it back, and now we'll end up with the knees more or less in line with the hands. Opposite leg at the bottom. So bend knees, look up, cross, come down. Same thing. Aim to not use too much momentum, but instead push away, pull with the bottom leg into your body to get the legs to not touch. Hands to the mat, push away, pull up, hold, breathe, push out of your shoulders, bring it down. Hands to mat, step, or jump it back. Downward facing dog. Now to create a bit more, let's call it hang time, you will jump your feet behind hands. And if you land quite hard or it's not too slow, the transition's not too slow as a whole, that's okay, but we'll do 3 or 4 and see if it gets better. So bend into knees, look up, and jump your feet behind hands. Landing softly. You can step or jump back. Keep breathing. Another one. Bend into knees. Look up. Jump. Landing softly. Step or jump back. We've got 2 to go. Bending into knees. Look up and jump. Softly. Take it back. The last one, maybe you can hold it just a little bit longer. Jump. Slowly come down. And then step or jump back into a down dog. Now that the body's nice and warm, lower your hips back into plank and lower all the way down onto the floor. We'll do Dhanurasana with a more Kundalini approach. Instead of finding your ankles, find your shins. Once you grip hold of the shins, roll your shoulders back and down, big toes can touch. Start to kick back, lifting your thighs, lifting your chest, and hold. Exhale slowly. Lower down, placing hands below the shoulders, making your way back up onto all fours. And we're going to be doing a bit of a dynamic movement in plank, or it's going to be on all fours. You've got the option to keep knees down or to take it into plank. I'll demonstrate with knees on the mat. You'll get onto the fingertips of the right hand, onto fingertips of the left hand, right palm down, left palm down. And we'll just keep moving in this fashion. Notice that if you are on all fours, then obviously it's easier because you've got weight on the knees, but it's more easy for you to then sort of shift weight back. And that's going to make it more forgiving. But if you're on plank, shoulders will be above hands. So whichever option you want to go with, get into your position, up onto fingertips, fingertips, palm, palm. Avoid swaying the hips around too much. See if you can facilitate the entire movement with the hands and the forearms. Take it up and down and down. Really good way to strengthen the wrists as we work on getting the hands stronger, for a stronger grip on the mat. You might find the forearms getting tired. Now we'll start with the left hand onto fingertips, then the right, then left palm down, right palm down, and go. Keep moving. Even if you need to take knees to mat at some point. Keep the breath consistent. Another round. Up onto the fingertips, fingertips, palm and palm. Place your knees down. Turn your hands, get your hands closer to your knees. Starting off with an easier approach. And then shift weight back, lifting the palms off the mat, but keeping fingers on the floor. Should you want to take the hands forward slightly, you can. Bring the palms back down. Now slide your hands into the box pose shape. And then all you do is keep the palms on the mat, just bend into your elbows a little bit. Hold it there. Now turn your hands, normal down dog hands on the mat. And tuck your toes, take it up into a downward facing dog. We're making our way to seated for core, so bend into the knees, look up. Step or jump into a seated position. And as you do so, straighten your legs. Now, with the core exercise, it's going to be dynamic. We'll be lifting legs up and down. We'll be on our backs, legs up and down, up and down. If you feel that you need a bit of support for the back, I'd suggest that you get your hands below the body, but hands into fists. It should make it a bit easier. So if you lie back, you position hands and fists, and you reach down towards the heels with the hands, it should make it a bit easier. Lifting the chest slightly or the shoulder blades off the mat. You take your legs up on exhale, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Simply keep moving. Synchronize breath and movement. Keep going. Keep up with the pace. You can slowly take your legs down, legs or at least arms from underneath the body. Take a second in corpse pose to kind of just relax. The next core exercise is going to be a little bit more subtle, so you want to take your legs up to ceiling. You can keep the arms on the floor, push your middle back into the floor, to lift the sacrum and bring it down. So you lift and down, very subtle, up and down. Don't swing the legs around, simply lift up and down, up, down. Pushing middle back into the mat, and down. Three more. Two more. The last one. And bend your knees. Step the feet mat width apart. Arms slightly out to the sides and just move your knees from side to side. You can bring it back to center. Step feet close to the hips. Use an inhale to push through the feet, lifting the hips. And then placing your hands below your waist or onto the waist if you can. If you're not lifting high enough, then you'll simply stay in a bridge pose with the hands on the floor. Keep your breath nice and deep. We'll be doing a forward bend after this, and it's going to be more calming, and that's where we will slow the breath down even more. Exhale slowly. Come all the way down onto the mat. You can grab hold behind the backs of the knees and rock up into a seated position. So straighten your legs, flexing the feet. Take an inhale, arms to ceiling. Exhale, gripping hold to the outsides of the feet, turning it into a forward bend. Slow your breathing down. We are getting closer to our corpse pose. I want to get the system to cool down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release your feet. Take your right leg out to the side as you bend the knee. So now we get a 90-degree angle between your knees. Take a nice deep in-breath. Lengthen in spine. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bring the right leg to the front. Take your left leg out in the same position. Inhale to get length in your spine. Flexing the front foot. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bring the left leg back to the front, and then we will get soles of the feet together into that Baddha Konasana position. But we'll adjust the knees down manually. So left hand can be behind the back, the right hand onto the knee. Actively push the right knee down at the same time. Work your left knee to the mat. So you might sit slightly skew as you adjust the leg down. That's perfectly fine. We will straighten out in the back soon enough. Now let go of the right knee. Keep it down as much as possible. Opening up in the left knee, pushing down. And then get your left hand behind your back, both hands behind the back for a straight spine, and actively working your knees down towards the floor. And then ease out of the position by lifting your knees, straighten your legs, lie back onto the mat. So now that you've got straight legs on the floor, allow your elbows to be relatively close to the body, but the hands further away, fingers curling in naturally, feet flopping out to the sides. Lift your head slightly, tuck your chin, place the back of your head down, close your eyes, and spend a few minutes in your corpse pose before carrying on with your day. Breath is absolutely natural.